Some people look at it as a huge blow to Bitcoin and the altcoin market, so basically the crypto market. And some people, very few people, are viewing it as a positive thing in the community. It is an interesting topic. And I thought for sure we were going to see with the market the other day hitting 45,000, that 200-day moving average we've been talking about. And then this coupled with it, I thought for sure we weren't going to get much over 4,500. I thought for sure that might actually cause a negative impact on crypto, but it looks like crypto has different ideas. What do you think?
Well, that's what I'm trying to figure out. It's a little bit of a mystery because the news definitely wasn't good news. The legislation, is still moving forward, and I guess we have a couple more opportunities to fix it, but certainly we missed one opportunity.
Yep.
Thanks to one senator, I believe.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, that was Richard Shelby.
Yeah, one old senator who doesn't understand crypto and is in the pocket of the banks. Sure, he voted to hurt or wouldn't vote to help crypto.
Yeah.
And yet we still have a tremendous price increase. So is that because the market shrugged that off and isn't worried about it? Or are we setting up for a bit of a drop here? I guess that's really the question I have in mind.
Yeah, I don't know if people know how to react to it, but I certainly have some points that I want to make for why it could be positive or why it could be negative. And I think the person you were talking about there was Richard Shelby. He was trying to pass through $50 billion military increase. And Bernie Sanders was actually arguing with him. The interesting thing is Ted Cruz had just argued a bunch of positive things to help crypto. And when Shelby turned around and did this, it killed all of that positive stuff that we were going to do in terms of putting in the bill. And then they voted against it. So that was where the death blow came from this vote. Now, let's remember that this is just a bill, right? It's not been passed into law. But since we're a majority is one party in our government, it's possible this will get passed into law, right? So still a bill. We have 1.5 years to change it. It would take effect January 23rd January of 2023. So we've got a little bit of time.
If we believe, as I do, that that the crypto markets move in cycles, typically a 4-year cycle, and that at some point the market will peak, and then what if that just coincides really well with bad news as far as the legislation goes? Maybe the legislation problem is not averted, and that's the thing that sends us into the next bear market, depending on the timing. It's maybe people are just going to keep buying it up through the rest of whatever they think this bear market will be and not worry about that, and then take their profits out, and whatever happens after that with the legislation is a different problem for a different cycle, maybe. Right?
Sure. Well, it's an interesting way of looking at it, and I'm not sure that I agree with it 100%, but I've been looking at all the different angles on it, and one narrative is that this regulation is good for crypto. This is actually what we've been waiting for. It's the government to kind of recognize crypto as a real thing, right? Even though it stifles innovation in America, if you think about it, this has got the developers scared. This has got the miners scared because they think they're going to all be beholden to this new rule of being called a broker, right? It also says, in my mind, it says the government is taking crypto seriously because they're talking about it so much and they're trying to find ways to tax it so they actually make revenue from it. And once they start getting revenue from it, forget it. It's all game over at that point. They'll never want to get off of that. So they're trying to figure out how to regulate it. Hopefully they don't figure out a way to kill it. my guess is that they're trying to regulate it in a way that's very advantageous for them. I know in this infrastructure bill that they're looking for $28 billion in new revenue. The problem that I have with that is that they've really stuck it to anybody who transacts business on behalf of another. And if you look at it, that could be developers, that could be miners, that could be anyone along the chain that does something that causes something to happen in the process with Bitcoin. And I think that's what got people spooked. But this is such a small community of people. And I do believe that the investors themselves don't really understand that and don't really care about that. And the other thing that I say is a really big point is that if I'm a big investment house right now and I work in the stock market, this is actually good news for me because I already deal with these regulations. So if I want to be an exchange or if I want to put out smaller exchanges, this will take out and wipe out those smaller exchanges and it will put the business right back into my hands. So I wonder if the regulations aren't being set up that way to get it back in the hands of the banks and the big Wall Street type organizations and eliminate the competition early in the game. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, there's the questions about whether regulation is good for crypto or not. And as you said, I think in the long term, it can be good for it, but I think it has to be the right kind of regulation. And I don't think this is the right kind. This kind of regulation, the real problem with it, I think the reason the crypto community is up in arms about it is because this specifically won't help in the long run. It will have to drive miners and some of the other smaller players out of the United States, which, hey, you could argue getting out of the United States may be good for the crypto community anyway, but I don't think it's going to be good for the short-term price of crypto.
Yeah. Well, I want to just kind of bring up exactly what it said, so we all have a clear definition. It said the bill defines these people as brokers, right? And what is a broker? A broker is any person who, for consideration, is responsible for regularly providing any service, effectuating transfers of digital assets on behalf of another person. So they're regularly providing, but what is that? That's so vague, right? But you're right, this does affect people like miners. This could affect the developer that built something that has a piece of software out there that owns that software and it's doing transactions. Think about all the little trading programs that people have built that other people are buying and using. Now they could potentially go after those people to 1099 these people. And the hard part for like a miner is that a miner has no idea who they're doing business with. It's just they're out on the blockchain just solving random algorithms. They're not doing specific transaction type of stuff, which has two people involved. This is totally a different paradigm, and this is where the understanding of crypto falls all apart for these legislators and regulators. They don't even know what it is that they're regulating or how they're doing it. And could you imagine telling a miner, "Oh, you need to 1099 everyone"? Well, I did $1 million worth of transactions this year, but they have no idea who they did the mining for. So these types of things, I believe, are unenforceable, and you cannot create unenforceable laws, and you don't have to follow unenforceable laws. So from that standpoint, I think they're going to have to make changes before the end of this year and a half, because I think as they begin to understand it, at least as the crypto community speaks up, there's going to have to be some changes. Now, an exchange who clearly has all those transactions in mind, and I use Coinbase, they're already doing this stuff. And they're working with a company called Coin Tracker, and they can literally issue almost the equivalent of a 1099. And I see that's where things are really going to be going, is that the exchanges are probably going to be hit the hardest with this. And somehow they're going to probably let the miners and the developers off the hook. They have to, in my opinion.
All right. Well, certainly will be an interesting set of developments to watch. Maybe we have time to still run up this bull market real good and see some great price increases before it becomes an issue. But yeah, we'll just have to track it as we go in the future and see how it plays out.
My current understanding of it is about 49 might be the top before it retraces a little bit, but we'll see where it goes over the next couple days, next couple of weeks. If it blows through 49, man, I think we're really off to a whole new bull run. But we'll see as it continues to move up where it really heads. And I'm pretty excited about that as well, because as I watch, this is what we're in crypto for. We're in for the fun ride.
Yeah, yeah. And are we in the middle of a fun ride? Because it's been fun getting us to where we are here. It's been a lot of fun lately. So yeah, it might retrace, it might hit some resistance, it might fulfill that 30-day pattern. I'm not sure, but I'm definitely looking forward to more fun.
Yeah, me too. So let's keep our fingers crossed and keep looking at these charts and all the data that's out there available to us. And hopefully, maybe even Elon Musk comes out and says, "Yeah, I've cracked the code. I know how to get mining done at 100%." And we see this regulation change, and just who knows. So anyhow, it's been a good conversation. Thank you, Dean, for your time. If you're watching us and you're getting value out of this video and this content, please like and subscribe, and you can even hit the notification bell if you'd like.